These conspiracy theories are going absolutely viral on TikTok right now. So, the first theory I want to talk about is allegedly this audio of Michael Jackson talking about and exposing Jeffrey Epstein and Epstein Island, all the Hollywood elites, has now leaked. What's crazy about this is I remember hearing this audio like 15 years ago, and so many people in the comments agree with me. And I need to hear your guys' thoughts because I truly do not believe that this is AI.
Doing terrible things to children. Terrible things. You know, they drink their blood. It's too much. It's just too sad. No, you don't understand. These people, they don't go away. They never stop. Not ever. Diana knew that. She was sweet. Very sweet. Sensitive. She still had goodness in her heart. That's dangerous to people like them. Because they don't have hearts. They only have secrets. Diana saw too much. She saw that her husband wasn't who everybody thought he was. Diana was disgusted by Charles, and she was scared. I know that fear because they do the same thing to me. The phone calls late at night, people following you, people pretending to be your friend just to learn your secrets. They want control over everybody. That's how their world works. And if they can't control you, they punish you. They make the whole world turn against you. Then they kill you. That's what hurts the most. Not the newspapers or the accusations. It's watching people believe lies about you because the machine is so big, so powerful. Diana, she knew they were going to kill her. She told me, and I didn't tell anyone. Now I'm all alone.
I'm so sorry, but that just feels real to me. The cadence of it does not sound like AI. I do feel like we have gotten to the point where we can kind of decipher the difference. Obviously, it is hard because AI continues to get better, but to me, that's legit. I just feel like the way he's talking and the fact that, again, I remember hearing this audio 15 years ago. I know in my heart of hearts, allegedly, that is not AI. And so what the fuck is he talking about there? He is talking about the Hollywood elite. So did the Hollywood elite really make people believe horrible things about Michael Jackson? I don't know. I go back and forth all the time, and I honestly find this conspiracy theory to be so interesting because I agree with what he's saying about Princess Diana. Like, I do think that Diana knew she was going to die. And I also think that Diana knew things that were going on in these elite circles. I mean, for fuck's sake, her brother-in-law is Prince Andrew. So I believe that she knew people like Jeffrey Epstein were running things behind the fucking closed doors. And Jeffrey Epstein might even be lower on the totem pole than people who we don't even know yet. And that part is very scary to me. I really want to hear your guys' thoughts here. Do you believe that this is real or do you think that it's just AI? I don't know. And again, it led me to this conspiracy theory, which is overall the concept that AI has been created for times like this where the government or the Hollywood elite or whatever slip up or like things get leaked and people can just say that it's AI now because we have no way of knowing whether or not that audio is actually real. Like, I'm telling you that I remember hearing it in 2009. I was also like 10 years old, so I don't really remember 2009 that well, you know? But we really can't ever know if something is AI or if it's real. And I think that is exactly why the regulations on AI are basically nothing because they want it to be like that. Why wouldn't they? And I saw this creepy ass video that I truly do not think is AI. Something about it just feels sinister. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? I don't like it. It looks like an alien and I'm really not fucking with it. And again, people in the comments are like going back and forth debating whether or not this is AI. And I have to agree with those saying that it doesn't feel like an AI video. And like the way he starts breathing after his eyes shift back is just weird. Something about it is off and I don't think it's AI. And again, that in tandem with the Michael Jackson recording and everything else we've been seeing on the internet lately, anything that is either AI generated content or content that we're not sure if it's real or not really just further corroborates the overall conspiracy theory that there is something going on here and the government is not regulating it for a reason. But maybe that's just my opinion. So I saw these TikToks about the Kardashians and I genuinely think they need to be investigated, especially when it comes to OJ Simpson.
Want to take a stab in the dark at who it was? But OJ does leave a mark. Or several.
She said to me more than once he would kill her and get away with it.
I didn't know that there was abuse until we heard and saw it, the whole thing unfold like everybody else. And
What does he look like? O.J. Simpson. I think you know his record.
Not guilty of the crime of murder.
So first of all, those jokes on SNL, like, okay, I understand dark comedy, but that is such poor taste because that's like literally like your father just got that guy out of jail. It is your mother's friend who was murdered. Like that is so disturbing to me even make jokes about that. But then second of all, I don't like how Kris Jenner changes her story. It seems like in older videos, she claims that Nicole Brown Simpson told her that OJ was abusive and that she believed that one day he was going to kill her and get away with it. And then later on, as the Kardashian family gets more and more famous, you hear Kris Jenner say she had no idea about any of the abuse and she found it out when everyone else did after Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman were murdered. And I'm just like, where is the plot? Because y'all are losing it. Like, I do feel like this seriously needs to be investigated because even though like Kris and Caitlyn Jenner also, like they all claim that Robert Kardashian Sr. defending OJ Simpson really drove a wedge in like their relationship, that would ruin my relationship with that person. I'm sorry, but if my best friend was murdered and my ex-husband was defending him and got him to be free, there is no forgiving that. Like, I don't care. Obviously, we know Robert Kardashian later died, and so maybe she just speaks fondly now, but no, because we know Kris and Robert Kardashian always remained close, even after this OJ trial. And we also have footage of Robert Kardashian himself saying that he didn't even believe that OJ Simpson was innocent.
I asked you if you yourself doubt O.J. Simpson's innocence.
I have doubts.
Why?
The blood evidence is the biggest. I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm so conflicted because of that blood evidence. And I prayed to God not that this man be set free.
Before the 1994 incident, Robert was a wealthy businessman with a stable family life. He hadn't set foot in a courtroom for 20 years, and his law license had long since expired. But because of his 25-year friendship with Simpson, he chose to reactivate his license. He could have stayed out of it, but because he valued their bond so deeply, he staked his life, career, and family on it. And from that point on, there was no turning back. During the trial, Robert and his 4 children received death threats every day. They had to hide when they went out and dared not turn on the lights at home, fearing retaliation. He later admitted, "I was afraid every day, afraid for my own safety, but even more afraid that my children would be dragged into this. No one can understand that kind of fear." Robert's ex-wife was convinced from the start that Simpson was the killer. She even sat on the victim's family's side in court, openly opposing him. Overnight, Robert went from being a respectable millionaire to an accomplice whom the entire nation wanted to see punished. Yet the outside world only saw him standing beside the killer. No one saw the inner turmoil that tore him apart day and night. He had once done everything in his power to believe in and protect his dear friend. But as irrefutable evidence kept coming to light, those glaring bloodstains, his trust was shattered time and again. His conscience tore at him, tormenting him. In an interview, he admitted with anguish, "That blood evidence is like a thorn, piercing my heart day after day, leaving me unable to eat or sleep." If even the closest friend, the one who defended Simpson most fiercely and steadfastly, was tormented by the evidence to the point of sleepless nights and deep doubt, why did the jury back then turn a blind eye to it all? What really happened that night?
I just think that this shows how far the Kardashian family has been willing to go for money and fame and publicity for decades at this point. Because you cannot tell me that this man sits there and says to Barbara Walters, I prayed that this man wouldn't be set free. You defended him. You, not just like publicly in court, in a courtroom, defended him. Your license was expired, you fucking reinstated it, and plus, Robert Kardashian was not handling cases like O.J. Simpson's prior to O.J.'s case. Like, he was not a murder trial lawyer, okay? So the fact that he wants to sit there and say, like, I just really didn't want him to be set free, as if he didn't have the biggest hand in doing that, is bonkers. Bonkers. And I just think it's so crazy how often the Kardashians change their story regarding OJ Simpson, and then how easy it is for Kim Kardashian to make light of it on SNL. Like, it is just beyond fucked up to me. Speaking of the Kardashians willing to do anything for money, I truly believe right now that we are seeing Kim Kardashian exploit North West in real time, and it is beyond fucked up, okay? I honestly, like, cannot believe it.
Many of you were asking if I saw the video of the grown men like taking pictures with North, approaching her for a photo, giving her a hug. And then of course, shortly after, my algorithm read your mind and I did see the video. British and Nigerian rapper Skepta actually tweeted about this, saying a blind man could see she wanted a handshake. And many people clapped back at him, saying like it was just a hug, is that a social offense? And Skepta went on to respond, sickening, schools teaching French, German, and English when really the language most people need to effing learn is body language. Somebody responded saying, with all those piercings, she's only a child by age, not outlook. Skepta responded saying, whoa, protect your kids, people, protect your kids. He also added, what are you talking about? She is 13 years old and she put her hand out for a handshake. You don't ignore that. I can't believe some of these replies to my tweet. Here's the thing. I think Skepta is totally right about all of this. I also think North West should not have been in this situation to begin with. She does not need to be doing meet and greets at 13 years old with these grown men kind of coming up to her, taking pictures with her, standing near her, shaking her hand or hugging her. I'm sure that there was security nearby her, but just all of this feels very unnecessary for a young girl. Mind you, this is not really even about her appearance or the things she's wearing. It's about general safety for a young girl who is taking on like a role that is much older than her. If you picked up on body language in that video, she does seem really uncomfortable, but then again, she's only 13. She's probably feeling insecure in moments like this where she's surrounded by a bunch of people she doesn't know. Most of these people are grown adults, and she's this famous kid who people stare at, take pictures of. Even in videos that I've seen of North from that same day, she does seem a little uncomfortable. That's completely normal for her age because most girls that are that age would not be out and about having to be publicized like this.
I think that this is incredibly bizarre and incredibly fucked up on the Kardashians' part, okay? Kourtney Kardashian is someone who has always annoyed the shit out of me, but I do have to say that I think her kids live the most normal life out of all of the Kardashian children. I mean, honestly, like, it's just Kim's kids that I feel like are exposed to all of this stuff. It's just so fucked up to, like, imagine letting your 13-year-old child go to these meet and greets where creepy old men are coming up and like taking pictures with her. Like, this is so weird. Like, I understand letting your child like express themselves like with makeup as 13. I wore makeup at 13. Like, I mean, it's whatever, but then don't also put your child in these situations with creepy ass men when you know how gross people can be. I'm sorry, I just don't think it's right. I also think it's crazy because this girl just turned 13, okay? She was like 12 5 minutes ago. It's just wrong. It's wrong. I also just think letting North have these piercings on her hands and then also not taking care of them or teaching her how to take care of them is also crazy. Like, it's just weird. She is 13 years old. Like, I don't get it.
Whoever is doing these piercings for North West needs to lose their license. Because what do you mean you're piercing a whole ass 13-year-old child and leaving her hands with horrible scars? This one looks like it's rejecting. This one has already rejected. This one looks inflamed. And it's only a matter of time before every single one of these turns into a scar that looks like this. What parent is allowing their child to do this to themselves? Permanently disfiguring her own hands. Can you imagine how much she is going to regret this later in life? I don't care how much my child screams, cries, bitches at me, tells me she hates me. You are not piercing your fucking hands. I don't want to be the cool parent. I want to be the parent. I don't need to be your friend. I need to do what's best for you because your brain is not fully developed. You do not know what is best for yourself, and that is exactly what her parents should be doing. Since Kim Kardashian and Kanye West and they have millions and millions of dollars, nobody really bats an eye or gives a shit what happens to this little girl. I just want to see her paraded around looking like a 25-year-old woman when she is 13 years old. I highly doubt the majority of North West fans are also little girls. Yes, there is a huge portion of them that are little girls, but the rest of the people in the comment sections hating on everybody advocating for this child are all grown-ass adults. Y'all are absolutely sick for thinking that this is okay.
They're not just grown-ass adults, they're grown-ass men, which is just even more disturbing. I'm like, in what world should a child have hand piercings? But also, if you were to do that, like, I seriously think minimum, you make sure that those piercings don't get infected and don't permanently scar your child. I just think it's pretty clear at this point that the Kardashians are willing to go very far for money, and exploiting their children is not something that they consider too far, I guess. Speaking of soul transfers, have they discovered immortality? I saw this clip from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and Kim and Chris are talking to this guy who is basically claiming that immortality is real.
No, not at all. Quite the opposite.
You can tell me.
No, not at all. Quite the opposite.
Okay, here's the main question. With the way that you are so disciplined, does that bring you joy in your life?
Yeah, I'm happier and more fulfilled and energized than I have been in my entire life. What I'm trying to demonstrate is the future of being human. Imagine we figured out that death was no longer inevitable.
We're going to die at some point. I don't think humans were immortal. Or are you saying we're immortal?
Bruh.
I have believed something about this to be true for a very long time because of the celebrity lookalikes. So the celebrity historical lookalikes that really get me are from Eddie Murphy to Maggie Gyllenhaal, Nicolas Cage, Matthew McConaughey, Jennifer Lawrence, Johnny Depp, and Alec Baldwin. These are just a few of some of the craziest examples of these immortal, like, Hollywood celebrities. And I just think it is too weird that there are so many of these celebrities who happen to look like these historical figures. Even some of them weren't even, like, famous. I think it's too weird. I do. Because I don't see the average person having these historical, like, doppelgangers. What the fuck is that? What is that? So we've talked a lot about the death of Clive Davis, the famous music executive who passed away at 94 years old. Again, there's a lot of conspiracy theories about him, but I've recently seen the conspiracy theory that people seem to believe that he's not actually gone. And this is an interesting concept. So this came from, I believe, like, this is the source of where this theory comes from, is this tarot reader, which, if you don't know me, I love mystical things. I love tarot. I love astrology. So I believe in it. But, like, this girl is basically claiming that Clive Davis isn't really gone and his consciousness was actually transferred. And a lot of people think that it was transferred into none other than Jay-Z.
So I did a tarot reading on Clive Davis. This is for entertainment purposes only. All information is alleged. I wouldn't take this reading so seriously. I'm just doing this for practice. Allegedly, that man been dead. The date that they gave us, that's not the real date. Today was the day that the ritual that was done on him allegedly was completed. Allegedly, in his last days, hell, I'll even say the last few years, but he was tormented. The many spirits in his body wanted to SA. They wanted blood, but they couldn't get it. So the fact that his body was failing, the spirits in his body were restless. I wouldn't be surprised if people who he used to handle that are no longer here would come to him in dreams. Allegedly, he is not sorry, he is not regretful, he is not shameful for anything that happened in his life. I also hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. He feels that he did the right thing because he appeased those spirits. The energy, the spirits, the raw emotion that was inside of him allegedly has been transferred to another body. And the person who this was transferred to is going to be worser. Allegedly, a lot of celebrities are celebrating today because they think they are free from his grip. However, there's somebody that's worse than him that will be standing in his place, that will be filling his shoes. It's not a reincarnation. I want to say it's like a spirit transfer, a consciousness transfer. He basically got rid of the old body and is now in a new body, allegedly. The spirits who wanted to whoop his ass and was waiting for him to kick the bucket, they're not going to be able to turn him every way but loose because he is still on this earth, allegedly. As time progresses, allegedly, there's going to be more tension, more conflict in the music industry. As long as this man is able to get into another body and transfer, the music industry will continue to get worse and worse. And not just the music industry, but everything that Clive Davis allegedly had control over is going to get more intense. His spirit allegedly is not going anywhere. As long as these rituals continue to work, he's not going anywhere. Lastly, if you are an artist or you make music, you write songs, whatever it is, go ahead and get your contracts in order, get your copyrights in order, whatever you need to do to back yourself up from the business side of things. Because I'm also picking up that there's going to be more stealing, more plagiarism, and by the time you recognize that they stole your shit, you go try to get it back, they done copyrighted and made it their own. By the time his new body steps on the scene, this man is not going to be nice presenting as he was before. He's going to be an asshole. He's going to be evil straight up right off the bat and won't even care. I'm feeling the energy that he let a lot of people slide. He felt a lot of people got out of line. He felt that he was too lenient before, so now he's going to be ruling with an iron fist. He also feels that a lot of artists who owe him money have been slacking off, and he don't care how you make these songs, but these songs need to be made. And so a lot of people are going to be stealing from the smaller creators, from the smaller artists, because these mainstream artists lack creativity. Allegedly, I see this new body hanging people from the balcony off like the 30th, 50th floor, threatening people, you need to make these songs, where's my money? Allegedly pouring acid on people's skin, allegedly threatening to set people on fire. This body is going to be ruthless. This body is going to be crazy. So when this new person pops up, he's going to instill a lot of fear and violence into them. If I was you, I wouldn't get into the industry. I would remain independent or try to figure out how to become independent. Because allegedly he is now in another body, there's going to be more sacrifices on the way. Allegedly. But again, I don't know what I'm talking about. All of this information is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. And I'm just trying to practice. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
I really want to hear your guys' thoughts on this, especially if you are also a tarot card girly. I have read tarot for many years at this point, and I don't really do it on here, but it is fun, and I don't take it too seriously just because I will probably go insane if I did that, because I would be asking the questions about everything. But I have experienced really weird situations with tarot readers before where they've been incredibly accurate. Do you think that this is one of them? Do you think that she is correct? I really do believe, without shadow of a doubt, if soul transferring is possible, Clive Davis would be definitely someone on that list that would have done it, because he has just been kicking for so damn long off of the backs of artists that didn't even make it past 50. So I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on this, because I totally understand how people in the comments think that Clive Davis's soul has transferred to Jay-Z. I honestly think that that is so scary, but let us know what you think. All right, the next theory I want to talk about is crazy, because I have never, in my entire experience on TikTok, which I am on very often, I've never experienced this or gotten a content warning like this before. But when I went to copy and paste this video, to put in this conspiracy video, I got this warning that says, consider the accuracy of what you're sharing. Remember to check the information in this video with reliable sources. And then it says cancel or share anyway. So there's basically a video of Joe Rogan finding out that in the Epstein files, they actually do talk about eating Sour Patch Kids.
What? They're eating babies, man. That's that you think is real. So, well, yeah, not only that, I think that there's sacrifices going on every day in Los Angeles, allegedly, high-level musicians, let's say, high-level female musician is killing chickens every day, doing sacrifices, high level. I don't want to say names because I don't want to get sued. And I don't want to be dead either.
I just think there's so many more things on TikTok that like are blatant lies versus like something that is just considered a conspiracy theory in the Epstein files. The fact that this particular theory had that message over it surprised me. It did, because I've never seen that before, and I have obviously researched a lot of conspiracy theories on TikTok, shared them, copied and pasted them, like whatever. I've never seen that, and I do think it's interesting that this was the theory that was too far for TikTok, but let me know your thoughts. All right, the next theory I want to talk about is all about Erica Kirk. People believe that Erica Kirk is JonBenet Ramsey. This has been a conspiracy theory we've talked about before. I didn't really believe it, and I still kind of don't, but this video changed my mind slightly because I've never seen a comparison between Patsy Ramsey, JonBenet's mother, and Erica Kirk, and why do they low-key look like mother and daughter, but also the eyes. The eyes in this, I was like, wait, they actually have the same eyes. Like, that's actually really, really scary.
They're always playing right in front of our faces. Always playing. I mean, look at this. This is Patsy. That's Erica. Erica. JonBenet. They'd be about the same age. Erica Kirk is 36 and JonBenet Ramsey would be about 35 years old. The similarities are just undeniable in this one. They are undeniable. You guys have got to stop. I mean, I thought Katy Perry was JonBenet Ramsey. This is absolutely getting out of hand, out of control. I don't even know where you guys got this. Like, where did you guys come up with this and when? Like, how long did it take you to figure it? This stuff blows my mind. Like, really? Really? Do you think JonBenet just didn't ask any questions? She just went with this other family and was like, okay, I'm Erica now. And have you seen pictures of Erica when she was a kid? She even said it herself. I looked like a little boy. Go look at the pictures of Erica Kirk as a kid. Come on, guys.
I really want to hear you guys' thoughts on this because, again, it's literally never been a conspiracy theory, I believe. But when I saw the pictures of the side-by-side of Patsy Ramsey, maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe they're just basic white people, but let me know your thoughts. All right, the next guy I've been loving on TikTok lately, he always posts the craziest conspiracy theories, and I want to give my 2 cents on all of the ones he talks about.
Another part of things that I believe that other people think I'm in a psychosis or absolutely crazy for believing, and once again, this is all for entertainment purposes. None of this can be proven, and all my own opinion. I'm just gonna rapid fire these off, but I do believe that the history books are lying to us. It is funny that McGraw-Hill, who produces all of the textbooks that we learned from in school, were found in the Epstein files and in the Ghislaine Maxwell web of it all. These people are the ones writing the history that we're learning, and I'm not buying any of it.
I agree, and I think it's actually way worse than a lot of people realize. So Robert Maxwell, who was Ghislaine Maxwell's father, who is literally known to have heavy ties to the blue and white state, and he like allegedly had ties to Mossad and all of these crazy connections. Like, he donated so much damn money to Israel's like army. It's crazy. But he died in a very mysterious way. But he actually had like a joint venture with McGraw-Hill, which is the books that we all grew up reading in America for school. And so is it that far of a stretch to believe that maybe the way that our history is being taught to us is not coincidental, and that it leaves certain things out on purpose because that's what the elites don't want us to know? I kind of believe it.
Do believe that the elites or the people higher up are giving us little truths here and there because they believe that that is how they escape karma. And if you know anything about karma, is she is the realest bitch on the block. She's not going anywhere. But they believe that by disclosing little truths here and there, for example, through Hollywood and movies, even though that's in an exaggerated or artistic way, there is still some truth sprinkled in all of it. And that's because they do that to escape the karmic repercussions of it all. You know, if they give us the truth, then we get to decide for ourselves if it's crazy or true. And most of us think that it's crazy. And at the end of the day, they can say, well, we told them. They're the ones that didn't believe us.
I agree with that as well. I think that's actually a really interesting take. I mean, we have so many examples of like Jeffrey Epstein and his crimes in media before it actually came into fruition. P. Diddy as well. Like, there are so many people who like didn't even speak out about it, but created art surrounding these topics. And I wonder if it really is to get that like karma off their consciousness. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts because I found it interesting.
Next up, I do believe God was a woman. God is a woman. I believe that everything starts and ends with a woman. That is why we refer to Earth as Mother Earth, Mother Nature. Everything is mother.
Yeah, that one goes without saying. I obviously believe God is a woman.
This one, I do believe the Scooby-Doo, the live action from the early 2000s, was a literal physical representation of Epstein Island. Spooky Island was Epstein Island. I feel like the symbolism is too strong. A place where young kids are brainwashed to swap their souls because they are the most pure. That's why Scooby was going to be sacrificed at the end, because he was the most pure soul. If nothing else, Scooby-Doo was telling us that the monsters are humans at the end of the day.
I think this is a really interesting take as well. I love the live action Scooby-Doo, but this definitely ruined it for me because I kind of believe the conspiracy theory. I think that actually makes a lot of sense. And there's like an episode of The Fairly Odd Parents as well that is like on Wish Island that a lot of people wonder if that was alluding to Jeffrey Epstein's island and people who knew about it. And these Hollywood people that knew about it were just putting it in the media, again, kind of corroborating the earlier conspiracy theory.
I don't think that we are just one life, because at the end of the day, we are not physical bodies, we are conscious. And I think that we are doing this over and over again, which is why soulmates is not a joke. I fully believe in soulmates. That's why when I say you're a soulmate, that's the highest compliment that I could give you, because I think we are meant to meet in every single life.
I agree as well, and I hate that because reincarnation genuinely scares me. Like, it really, really freaks me out. I don't like thinking about it. I don't want it necessarily to be real. Like, the concept of just like forgetting every single one of your lives as you move on is just too overwhelming for me. I don't like it. But I have seen the evidence, and to be honest, there is too much evidence supporting the idea that reincarnation does exist to me that I think it is definitely one of the higher probabilities of things that like happen when we die or whatever, like theories. I think that's up there with the things that is more likely than others. And I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it.
I do think that the school system and everything after it is set up like a prison system, even down to the alarms and bells that we hear and remind us, oh, we got to go do this, we got to do that. It's because we're controlled freaks. We are controlled. You are not the control freak. You are the controlled freak.
I kind of agree with this one as well. I do feel like we are like living in a simulation, and this kind of is similar vibes to that theory. All right, the last theory I want to talk about is about Jim Carrey and The Weeknd. So obviously you guys probably remember when Jim Carrey like came out with this face in like February, looking weird as fuck, honestly, didn't look like himself. People have conspiracy theories that he's a clone or whatever. And there's this conspiracy theory that he actually like hinted at this when he worked with The Weeknd, which I didn't even know he did.
You're onto something when you record the video and then TikTok just deletes part of it when you press to check. Okay, I'm gonna say what I just said all over again. I don't give a fuck. I'm putting this video out. I have to record this on my regular camera. All right, y'all. So it's 2 a.m. right now, but I have to just get this out. I'm going to sum up everything that I just researched into one video here, but I'm going to dissect everything and put it into parts and really make a way better video later. It's just that it's late. All right, let's get into it, right? This whole entire thing started for me with the whole Jim Carrey thing. When the new Jim Carrey actor came out, whoever's playing him came out, and we realized like Jim Carrey, they took him off the world stage and tried to replace him with an actor who's trying to promote a whole other agenda. Right, we're already caught up with that. So that's what sparked this entire rabbit hole that I'm gonna go down. This is going to get crazy, bro. So, okay, so I'm looking into how Jim Carrey got replaced and trying to figure out who's playing his part and all that stuff, right? While I'm doing this research, and sorry if I talk fast, this is just, you just gotta keep up. While I was doing this research, I saw that someone said to look into the music video by The Weeknd called Out of Time. I watched the music video by The Weeknd called Out of Time, and in the video, at the end of the video, Jim Carrey starts narrating, saying you're out of time, and you go into a hospital room, and Jim Carrey puts a mask over The Weeknd's face, surgically puts a mask over The Weeknd's face. Okay, Jim Carrey was all over this album. You have to listen to the album. And he's basically saying goodbye to the world and saying that heaven isn't this, it's heaven isn't that, it's this, and it's a mental state. And he's talking about enlightenment, and he's just, you can tell it's called Phantom Regret. He has so many parts in the album. He puts them throughout the album. Okay, listen to the album. It has a lot in there. Also, while I was doing research on the whole Jim Carrey thing too, they talk about Stephen Baldwin. So I watched Stephen Baldwin's video. This man talks in riddles and codes. He does not say anything direct, and you don't know what he's talking about. He literally looks like he stinks. He's weird as fuck. He looks evil, bro. You can see it in his face. You can see the evilness in his face. When I first saw him, I was like, damn, he looked like the stepdad in Cat in the Hat. Like, he looked like the guy who's playing the stepdad in Cat in the Hat. Come to find out, that's his brother who played that part. So he's not far from it. But anyways, he made a video talking about Jim Carrey and how Jim Carrey can't talk about what's really going on in the industry because he tried once and he's not in a position of power to do so. And only Stephen Baldwin, he said that Stephen Baldwin said, I have higher power and I can do something like that. He's in the Illuminati, but he's obviously telling y'all that. He pointed to his hat, which had a picture of a bull, and he said, mess with the horns, you get the bull, meaning mess with the devil, you're gonna get this evil bullshit that they're putting out. This is the video that Stephen Baldwin put out very recently talking about Jim Carrey. Whew. He also put out a video on his page of Jim Carrey's speech, and he said, I miss Jim in the caption. All right, y'all. So I looked into the brothers of Stephen Baldwin's family, his brothers, since he looked like the guy in the Cat in the Hat, and I found out he was his brother, the guy who played in the Cat in the Hat. He also was in a movie with Jim Carrey, Having Fun with Dick and Jane. He was in that movie with Jim Carrey, so they obviously had connections with Jim Carrey. Also, one of his brothers is the same height as Jim Carrey, I'm pretty sure, because he's 6'2", and one of his brothers is 6'2". So either one of his brothers probably played the part, or I think Stephen Baldwin played the part. He could have came up with the extra inches in some shoes, or it's not that hard to. They're not far apart in height. And I also feel like Stephen Baldwin, the way he's so sarcastic and speaks in codes and shit, I feel like he, or maybe his brothers, maybe they're all alike, but I definitely feel like one of them played the part of Jim Carrey, because of the way that he talks in riddles and the way that the fake Jim Carrey said, I'm dead, and said, I've been practicing my lines for so long, and saying that the funny face that he's wearing is a mask. Like, Stephen Baldwin has enough, he can come up with stuff like that. Okay. Stephen Baldwin, this is the part where it's gonna get crazy, all right? The Weeknd I looked up who is friends with The Weeknd. The only people that were friends with The Weeknd was Drake a long time ago, and they weren't even really friends. They just made music together, and apparently they really were never friends, because The Weeknd started this whole beef with Kendrick Lamar, Future, and versus Drake. The whole Not Like Us shit started with The Weeknd, but that's another story for another day. I looked up who is friends with The Weeknd on Google, and it literally just said Jim Carrey. He lives near Jim Carrey. Okay, y'all. I used to watch this conspiracy theory, these videos about clones and stuff, right? There's only 2 channels that I find that really talk about this stuff without, like, they're very consistent, and they say a lot of things that I don't hear anywhere else, and no one else is posting videos like it, so I watch it because it's very interesting. And one of the videos that they made a while ago was that Jim Carrey was Justin Bieber, and that the gematria matches up. If you don't know what gematria means, it literally is just the adding letters together, and when they come to the same numbers, it's a code in the Illuminati that these 2 things mean the same thing. So basically, A equals 1 and Z equals 26. Sometimes they do it in reverse, where A equals 26 and Z equals 1, to put it into simple terms. If you hear someone talking about gematria, it's literally adding the letters, coming up with a number, and if the numbers match in the Illuminati, they probably have something to do with each other. They said that the gematria match with Jim Carrey and Justin Bieber. They have a lot alike, actually, if you look into it. It's very strange. But in the video, they said that, I know you guys think that that Justin Bieber is playing The Weeknd, but he's really Jim Carrey. I've never heard that shit in my life. I was like, what the fuck? People think The Weeknd is Justin Bieber. I'm like, what, bro? But I'm not gonna lie, like, looking at The Weeknd, he looks like a not real person. Like, he actually looks like He's not real. He looks like his skin is spray tanned and his hair is fake. I'm just using my discernment and being so like transparent with y'all. Ever since I ever saw him, he just looks like a doll, like a plastic doll. What do The Weeknd and Justin Bieber have in common? Selena Gomez. After Selena Gomez dated The Weeknd and Justin Bieber, she apparently was replaced after she had that surgery. Bro, shit gets crazy. I think when she was with The Weeknd, they could do their, because I think The Weeknd is like the darker side of Justin Bieber when he was on drugs and stuff. You have to really be woke to see this stuff. You remember that Hurry Up Tomorrow, his movie? You remember that one scene where he was like, shut up, and he was just talking weird? I can see that being Justin Bieber. Like,
what are you
I feel
doing?
like
I have to go right now. I'm getting calls.
Like, it's hard for him to
I have to catch
play
a
that
flight.
part. That's why
Clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
he just seems uncomfortable in his body, bro. And that's why he's so obsessed with these prosthetics and shit like that. Okay, The Weeknd. What do The Weeknd and Justin Bieber have in common? Selena Gomez. What does Jim Carrey have in common with The Weeknd? The videos and the music that they just put out together. The Weeknd apparently lives near Jim Carrey. What does Stephen Baldwin have to do with Justin Bieber? Hailey Bieber is his daughter. Hailey Bieber is his daughter, bro. And Hailey Bieber has been watching Justin Bieber since she was a kid. She's been stalking him since a kid and basically told her dad, I want him, I choose him, I pick him. And he helped to get her around him enough. She's to the point where they started dating and are together.
So I don't know if I necessarily think that this is true or not, but I honestly gotta tell you, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. And I don't like it. I do believe parts of it, like the Jim Carrey aspect is really interesting here. And of course the Stephen Baldwin as well. And I just think Stephen Baldwin weird as fuck. Like, do him and Hailey talk? Because why is he so fucking weird? But I really want to hear your guys' thoughts on all of these conspiracy theories. But anyway, that is it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of these different theories, and let me know which one's your favorite, which one you believe the most. But that is it. Make sure you follow me on TikTok and Instagram and subscribe for new videos every week, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.